Hello, and welcome to another episode of All Around Town. My name is Roger Wilson, and I'm the Director of Government Affairs and Public Policy. Today's guest is Mayor John Kennard from Thurmont.
Roger, so welcome. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, good to see you again. Yeah, and glad, I guess this is your third?
Third time, yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
so you should be a veteran at this.
Yeah, if I knew what you're going to ask me, I would be a veteran at it.
Yeah. So tell me what's going on in Thurmont right now.
Oh, we have, as usual, we have a lot of things going on. We have a lot of infrastructure working on right now. We're doing some sewer line repairs in a couple small neighborhoods, and we've got a really big project coming up this spring that's going to be about $2.75 million project to do some water line work on North Church Street. And other than that, things are going just as well as I would expect them to go.
Good. All right. So we'll get more back on all the success of Thurmont. I want to ask you today about your challenges. Mm-hmm. What's going on in Thurmont as far
we have the same challenges everyone else has. We have drug issues. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, we've had this year so far we've had 2 fatalities from overdoses. Last year we had 4 for the entire year. So, my hope is that this is just an anomaly at the beginning of the year and it doesn't continue. But to help address our issues with drug abuse in Thurmont, we've organized a committee called the Thurmont Addiction Committee, made up of some local residents, and they're working together to educate our residents about what can be done about it, prevention, and to help with recovery. And also outreach programs to reach out to younger people, children, and the community as a whole to try to turn the tide with illicit drugs. And we're a small community, and for us to have 2 overdose deaths in the first month of the year, I think is pretty dramatic.
Mm-hmm. What kind of numbers did you see in 2017?
We had 4 overdose deaths in 2017, I believe 22 non-fatal overdoses. Mm-hmm. So I think countywide, I think there was like 72 or 73. Mm-hmm. So we had added 4 to that, which is a real shame, but it's everywhere. It's nationwide, mm-hmm. and there's no easy answer to it. And we've racked our brains about it. As a matter of fact, we're having on our next meeting, which is this coming Tuesday night, we're having someone from the county up to talk about a needle exchange program. Which is a good idea. It saves a lot of issues and can solve a lot of problems, but it's not the answer to the whole issue. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this issue is affecting all economic levels.
Absolutely.
No one is immune from it.
No, that's right. Mm-hmm. The recent deaths were in their 30s and 40s. Mm-hmm. And married with children, and it's just sad to see that. But the question is, what causes them to get involved in these drugs? They're looking for an answer from something. Mm-hmm. So I think prevention is the angle to go, but it's a very difficult course because everyone has a different need and has a different reason for using illicit drugs.
Mm-hmm. Well, the county executive has put together a heroin consortium, mm-hmm. and that's going very well. They meet regularly. It's composed of the sheriff's office, the city of Frederick, and also includes someone from our Department of Health and Mental Hygiene.
Yeah, I just learned about that about a month ago, mm-hmm. and we've passed that information along to our TAC committee, and they're going to send a representative mm-hmm. To sit in those meetings. So hopefully we'll be able to get some good information and some assistance. And our organization started because we have a dozen or so individual families have started, little organizations to try to help this. So we started the TAC group as an umbrella to overlook all these little family organizations, sure. and get them the information they need and try to work as a center, as a source that they can rely on. Mm-hmm. And with a community voice, with the municipality's voice behind it, I think we get better answers out of people when we make phone calls and talk to them rather than just a resident calling up. If you say this is the commission, the Thurmont Addiction Commission chairman calling, I think we get a little more, not necessarily respect, but I think they pay a little more attention to the call.
Now, how often does the Addiction Commission?
They meet once a month.
Once a month? Where at?
They meet either at the town hall, mm-hmm. or I believe at the library. Mm-hmm. So the night that they meet, we sometimes have planning and zone, or Board of Appeals meetings. So when they have a Board of Appeals meeting scheduled, they go to the library. But they have a Facebook page, so you can go to there and take a look at it and see what their schedule is.
Very good. All right. So let's shift gears. So the homelessness situation in Thurmont.
Yeah, we have
that.
homeless people. We have a couple residents that spend all their waking days in a car in the park. We have families that have lost their houses. They've lost their jobs, they lose their houses, their apartments, and they're living long term in motels in Thurmont. And we have quite a few of those. It's a problem you see everywhere. But we over the last couple of years have sort of taken a little more interest in it, and we actually have a line item budget now for emergency funds to help people spend the night in a hotel until the Seton Center. They go to the Seton Center. They come to Frederick County government. Until they can get them set up somewhere, we try to help them through the tough times.
Okay, all right, good. And so are you getting any help from the county as far as, understanding what services are available?
Yeah, the county's been very helpful. We've directed a lot of people to the county for information and for assistance. And they step right up, and they usually do everything they can for them.
Okay, very good.
But it's tough. I mean, we have families with kids that live in hotels, in a hotel room, and that's no place for kids to live. And oddly enough, when you talk about homeless, a lot of people don't count. You have homeless people. There's anyone that doesn't have their own home to live in. So kids that live with their grandparents or their aunts and uncles because their parents can't afford a house to live in, those kids are homeless, really. Kids that live in hotel rooms, they're homeless kids. Kids that live in the back of a truck, they're homeless. So it's not just the guys and the women they're in a tent out in the woods somewhere. Homeless covers a broader area than most people will admit to.
And remind me again the number, what is the population of Thurmont?
6,300.
6,300, yeah. Okay. And is that population growing?
It hasn't grown a lot in the last 8 or 9 years. After the real estate bubble broke, we just, in the last 2 years, we've built 24 units. And for 6 years prior to that, there wasn't one housing unit built in the town of Thurmont. So, there's not a lot of growth. We have people, moving in and out, purchasing properties and selling stuff like that, but the numbers haven't gone up any.
Is there a focus on affordable housing?
We have talked about that. Of course, the county had a plan a few years ago where if you had subdivisions over, I believe it was 25 units, you had to put 10% or 15% had to be affordable housing. Of course, we know what happened there. They changed the regulations, and now they can buy their way out of it. So we don't have, the trouble is we haven't had any construction. So, that hasn't even come to play yet.
Okay, very good. All right.
But I see the need for affordable housing, for less expensive starter homes, and for apartments that young people can move into, or the elderly that have trouble with income stream. They need a place to stay too.
Yeah, well, that's a very good point. Our seniors are downsizing now, and they're looking for that, one level, home.
We have senior housing in Thurmont. We have condos they're senior based. We also have an apartment unit on Moser Manor, I believe it's called, and I think there's probably 20 units in there, and they're all senior residences. Okay, all right. But there's more of a need for that every day.
Well, let's shift gears again, and let's talk about the positive projects. I know you did a sidewalk up on Moser Road.
Yeah, we did. We put a new sidewalk with the help of the county.
Okay.
County Executive Gardner was nice enough to ask us if we had a capital project that we'd like her to help with. Sure. And so we chose sidewalks on one side of Moser Road, which is great because it leads from Frederick Road right to the regional library, which is a fantastic, library. It's the best library in the state of Maryland, I believe. And we're very, very, very happy with the assistance from the county on that. It benefits our residents. It goes to the library and has a good connection to our trolley trail hiking and biking path.
Oh, okay.
So it gives people the opportunity to get onto that end of it because it ends on Moser Road at the regional library. So, without sidewalks on there, and Moser Road's a pretty busy road. There's a lot of trucks come up and down Moser Road. So it's not the safest place to walk on, but now they have a nice sidewalk on the south side that takes you right down to the library. So that was a great project. Okay,
all right, good. So any new economic development, activities?
We're trying to get some new businesses into downtown. We have a couple new businesses that are moving in.
Sure.
I can't say a whole lot about most of them because then you jinx it and they end up not coming
Right.
anyhow.
Okay.
But we just had a new dry cleaning plant, and dry cleaner moved in. New Way Dry Cleaning is at a new location on East Main Street. We have a secondhand shop that's looking at a spot in town, and the old Thurmont Bank building. They're starting the renovations on that, and it's going to be a coffee shop. So we should have a new coffee shop in a few months downtown, which I think will be great.
Okay, very good.
And Criswell Chevrolet
That's right.
has built a nice facility down there, and they're in the process right now of building another dealership on the other side of Frederick Road.
Okay.
So they've invested a substantial amount in our community, and we appreciate their investment.
Good, good. So any upcoming events happening in Thurmont?
Nothing right now. We should have a business expo coming up, I think sometime in April, March, April. I haven't heard anything about the planning for that. But there's always some event going on around town. The firemen and the ambulance company run a lot of events. So there's always something going on with them.
Okay. Hey, thanks for coming in today, and don't be a stranger.
I won't be. It's my pleasure to be here, Roger.
Okay,
Thank you.
Good, thanks. Well, that wraps it up for this show today. I look forward to seeing you all around town.